Hi everyone, this is Denora Gattacho, the Executive Director of Generation Citizen New York. Thank you for signing up to be a judge at Generation Citizen's Spring 2017 Civics Day and for taking time to view this webinar. I promise to be brief and respect your time. I have two goals for this webinar. First, for those of you who are new to Generation Citizen, I will contextualize our mission and explain how we do this work. Second, I will provide you an overview of what to expect at Civics Day and some tips and tricks for how to be a compassionate, effective, and engaging Civics Day judge. Let's get started. So who is Generation Citizen? We are a 7-year-old national nonprofit organization whose mission in layman's terms is to get civics education back into classrooms nationwide in an effective, action-oriented way. Our goal is to get young people to be lifelong active citizens who are shepherding our democracy forward. So why does this matter? Democracy depends on political participation, but Americans, specifically young Americans, are turning away from politics. Young people want to make a difference, but don't think that politics and government is the best way to create change. In fact, only half of the eligible young people voted in the 2016 election, and less than half of those were young people of color. While this slide is based on 2012 statistics, and voter turnout increased only slightly in 2016, our turnout did not increase enough to move us to the front of the line. So what does that mean? America has a turnout problem. Our politics is broken. But the answer is not to disengage. We must re-engage, and we must teach young people how to be politically active. We must show young people that politics is more than the presidential election, that real political change starts at the local level, and that everyone can be a change maker. Here's the current state of affairs with civics education. Basically, it's history. Either traditional civics is ineffective, or civics has been pushed out of schools entirely. Moreover, what we know is that students in low-income schools are half as likely to study how laws are made and 30% less likely to report having experiences with debates or panel discussions in social studies classes. This reality has been coined as the Civic Engagement Gap. To lead change, we must first teach it. Our program is analogous to a driver's ed for civics. We don't let drivers get on the road without training them first, so why do we think if we want young people to be active citizens, they don't need similar training? But when I say action civics, I want to be clear. This is not Schoolhouse Rock. I'm just a bill on Capitol Hill. Okay, I'll stop because I can't sing and I think you get the point. This slide explains what happens in our classrooms over the course of a semester. Our college volunteers, also known as democracy coaches, work with teachers in their classes to learn how democracy works and utilize government by taking action on important community issues. Students learn by doing. Step 1, students debate and build consensus around an issue that personally affects them. Step 2, students analyze the underlying root causes of the selected issue and collaborate with democracy coaches and teachers to develop an action plan. Step 3, students put their plans into action and participate in Civics Day, presenting their action plans and preliminary outcomes to public officials, fellow Generation Citizen classes, and community members. So I've got another analogy for you. Civics Day is like a science fair for civics. I hope that immediately takes you back to elementary school, but not, because now you get to be the judge. Dun da da da! That's where you come in, dear Civics Day judge. You will be grouped into pairs of 2 to 3 judges, potentially including one high school student who will serve as a co-judge. You will judge 4 rounds of classes. Each round will last for 15 minutes. Student presentations will take 8 minutes. You should ask questions for 2 minutes, and you will have 5 minutes for scoring. Let's role play for a little bit. First, introduce yourself and ask the students to do the same. Second, have students explain their project. Then you should ask clarifying questions. Your rubric has questions that you can ask the students. Then you should thank the students. Finally, score and transition to your next table. Just a couple of reminders. First, remember that students are in grades 6 through 12 and likely have never spoken to professional leaders, so be nice to them and offer them reasonable feedback. Speaking of feedback, if you have any constructive feedback that you feel comfortable sharing at the end of the presentation, please feel free to do so. About those student judges, some of you will be joined by a student judge for the final 3 rounds of judging. Treat them the same way you would treat the student presenters. You will grade presentations based on the 5 categories displayed on the screen, which you can also find in the judge rubric that you recently received. 1. Grassroots change. Students can clearly and compellingly articulate why their focus issue matters to them and matters to their community. 2nd, systemic impact. Students can provide logical and evidence-based reasoning to explain how their project goal addresses the systemic root causes of their issue. 3rd, collaboration and diversity. Students have engaged a variety of local community members in their work and can clearly explain why each has a stake in the issue. 4th, action. Students have utilized a variety of tactics to engage their targets and have shown considerable thoughtfulness and attention to quality in completing their tactics. 5th, open-mindedness. Students can thoughtfully reflect on the GC process and connect their GC experiences with future implications and possibilities. For each category, you were asked to rank the presentation on a scale of 0 to 4. 0 for a presentation that demonstrates no effort, and 4 for an excellent presentation. As I said, the judge rubric contains suggested questions to jumpstart your engagement with the students. I want to take a second to remind you that you are judging students who are between 12 and 18 years old from diverse backgrounds. Many of them do not have experience presenting to adults except at home or in a classroom setting. I hope that your scoring and engagement takes these factors into consideration. What happens after judging? Your scores are tabulated by the Votes app, and the class with the highest score in each category will receive an award during the second portion of the program. So I encourage you to stick around and cheer on the students. This year, we will be using a digital scorecard via the Votes app. First, I'd like you to log on to gcny.nimsim.com to see this screen. This is how you log in. Once you are on the page, please enter the 6-digit key, 161438, and hit Proceed. This will take you to a page where you will see 2 options, Vote and Log Out. Please select Vote. Then you will see a screen with 3 fields that must be completed in order to proceed. Please enter your name in the Judge ID field, your email, and phone number. Why do we need all this information? The Votes app wants to ensure that there are no duplicate records with judging, so please do enter every field to proceed. Okay, now that the housekeeping is out of the way, here comes the good part. Please enter the table number and select it from the drop-down menu. Right now, this is in the test mode, but on Tuesday, you should see 60 table options, so make sure you select the correct table that you were judging at that time. You will score students on these 5 criteria, which we've previously discussed: grassroots change, systemic impact, collaboration and diversity, action, and open-mindedness. For each metric category, you will be given an opportunity to score the project from 0 to 4 and provide feedback if applicable. Once you are finished scoring each criterion, you should have a green check mark next to it. Now you can click Vote. Once you complete your vote, you will receive a confirmation message that your vote was posted, and you can move on to your next round and do it all again until you've scored 4 tables of students. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this webinar and for signing up to be a judge at this spring's Civics Day. We look forward to seeing you on May 9th at the Riverside Church.